Hello and welcome. This is a special broadcast on Times Now. When you hear the word 800, what comes to your mind? The gentleman sitting here with me is a cricket legend. Muttiah Muralitharan needs no introduction. And there's a film that's titled 800. It's on the life and times of Muttiah Muralitharan. The actor who plays him on screen, Madhur Mittal, is also with us. Sir, thank you for speaking to Times Now. Congratulations on the biopic. Madhur, the promo looks absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, I just want to begin by asking you, if you could, name the film differently, what do you have, if not 800?
It's very difficult because it's a household name, because if you represent me 800, represent everywhere in the cricket fraternity. If you go and say 800, that's my name comes, so that is very familiar. That's why he has taken and he has registered that. Not anybody to register that, the director. But what could I name? It's a difficult question, and it's a thoughtful question. And
okay, you could answer this at the end of the
yes,
interview.
Okay. I will find out if I come with a good name.
Think about it. Madhur, how is it playing, the legendary Muralitharan?
Extremely exciting, challenging. It's an honor. It's a lot of things rolled into one. I was a little apprehensive and nervous at the start because a big star like Vijay sir was supposed to be doing the film. There was some controversies that happened. He had to step back, and just also growing up in the 90s, these are the people you've grown up watching, idolizing, fearing, for example, So it's daunting at the beginning, but luckily when I met sir for the first time, he took a lot of the pressure off me. I've tried my best. We've worked really hard, and it's a very honest attempt at bringing to life this iconic legend's story.
Now, at the launch of the trailer, you had Sanat Jayasuriya and Sachin Tendulkar, two players who've spent a lot of time with you on and off the field. What did they tell you in private?
See, Sachin is a dear friend, and more than a friend, I'm his fan. Because, Sachin's greatness, nobody has in this world, entire global, you can say. And maybe one man can see maybe Donald Bradman, that the great Donald Bradman, not many people know because he's faded away, because they didn't see about him. Sachin is like, a child prodigy, because 14 years he played in the Mumbai Ranji Trophy. 8 players are international players. Getting in a side in a teenage, it's not easy job. Almost is 14. Then 16 he debuted for India. 17 he played, got 100. So 16 debuted, and you're playing Waqar Wasim, like fast bowlers, terrorizing fast bowlers at that age. It's impossible. So more than he records, what he's done in young age, not many people can do that. So that's why I'm a fan, because similar age, but we were looking at as a fan, like
right,
how good he is. So that's what. And Sanat is like something like brother-like.
Elder.
He's just elder
okay.
means elder means 2-3 years elder, not much. But long slide, 20 years with him.
Yes.
Ups and downs, fights, sometimes friendly, like so many things. Respect each other, so it's like a family. So I thought no better two people come and give a launch to this.
Also, there's a biopic on Sachin. Have you watched that? The film on Sachin?
It's a documentary.
Yeah.
I watched that because I was very nice and interesting, but it's a documentary.
Right.
So that's why I said these two guys, even watching them playing, a lot of pleasure given to me, and they are the right people to launch it. That's what I thought.
And you were talking about fast bowlers. At one point of time, early in your career, you wanted to be a fast bowler.
Yeah, this was very young. It was the age of 9 to 13, but I'm not quick enough and strong enough.
Thank God you were not quick enough.
So my coach decided to say that bowl spin.
Bowl spin. Now, okay, we'll talk about the cricketing days, but talk to us about the rough childhood that you've had.
See, I was in hostel, age of 6 to 18. So child, first 1 week it was so disappointing and upset, and because you're missing the parents and everything, crying and everything. After 6 days, you get used to that environment, and then after that, 2-3 years time, you don't want to go to home because so many fun there. So like that, it's very fun, but we share everything. We try to be like fight, like so many things. All life is taught by in that Oslo Christian boarding school.
Now, when you got into the national team, there were still many people who said that, he may not do too well. Obviously, there was euphoria around, you had taken a lot of wickets in the matches that you had played domestically. So there was this buzz. And then when you broke into the national side, there were still, some people who were not too sure of your ability. So now when you look back at your career and things that was written about you, what do you make of that?
See, I was never played first class before. I played only school cricket, and then only got into the... See, always ups and downs comes. See, newspapers will write, they're not going to say, they're not going to magicians. You will know what's going to happen end of the career, because careers are 10, 15, 20 years. At the time they felt, I'm not good enough. It's fair comment from their side, because you have to give performance to show that people to write good enough. I always see those days media is very small, right? Not like noisy as here now. Is the social media to everything. People cricketers get concerned on those things. We never bothered about media. We bothered about what's the next match, how am I going to play, and take it easy, enjoy, love it. That's it. So that's made it easy for us. These days it's difficult for cricketers.
Now, Madhur, I'll come to you, because the action of Muralitharan is as magical or mysterious as the bowling is, or as his record is. How did you get that right?
So I worked with a bowling coach, Vicky Bhai, who, I was shooting something else before starting the film. So after my shoot, every night I would go and practice for 2 to 3 hours. And also I drank up all the video archives available, on YouTube or whatever video I could find of Sir. I would watch that a lot and then practiced. And also I had a really bad car crash around 7-8 years ago, which smashed up my elbow. And
I can see.
Yeah, and so my elbow is bent, just like Sir's is naturally bent.
Yeah.
And it helped me sort of replicate Sir's action a bit more. So out of something bad has come something good.
So, let's talk about Daryl Hare. No interviews complete without, uttering his name, because he was the man, and he was pulled up, by no less than Don Bradman. You were speaking about Bradman. The legendary Bradman said that all this is nonsense. Murali is not chucking. What was your first thought, when you went into the dressing room, and when after you were called for 7 no balls, if I'm not wrong, on the trot, what did you feel?
See, I was so disappointed and upset and tears in my eyes, because I was just alone. I didn't eat even. So I was just alone, because people are coming and encouraging me. But still, it was there, upsetting. So that's what, it's very unbearable thinking at the time. And then I got over it. See, I felt when Daryl Hare called, because maybe I didn't think it's his judgment was right at the time, because the reason is he could have called me before that. So many matches he umpired me. Week before also in a one-day match in Sydney, they could have called me.
Why choose the Boxing Day?
Boxing Day, the most important calendar of Australian cricket, and also Australian public all will be watching. So he will be pushed to do that, or he did it that, or we don't know.
So you believe it was motivated?
Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. We can't read his mind. Then I also thought sometimes, so when you're young, you're not, you think your perfect action is your perfect, because never seen in TV till 18 years, 17 years. First time I saw in TV is when I played for Tamil Union Athletic Club.
You saw yourself both?
No, in a day-night tournament we got it. Then only first time I saw myself.
Yeah.
So myself and Ruan Kalpage, also teammate of mine in St. Anthony's College when he was playing school. He's played for Sri Lanka. He's a perfect off-spinner all-rounder. So I thought I'm bowling like him, right? So always think, because you don't know, you can't see your action. Not technology is available now. Your phone you can record. Those days nothing. So when I felt first time, I also thought what I'm doing, my action is so different than that. So I don't know. So maybe people get confused and maybe call. But only thing, shocking thing is because he could have called before.
True. The reason I asked you, sir, the reason I'm asking you this question is, you know, not to take you back into those memories, is only to send a message to the youngsters, because, you know, they have ups and downs in their career, and, you know, there can't be a bigger thing, a bigger setback for a player than being called out at an international stage. What happened to you? Have you had a chance to speak with Beryl here after that?
Yeah, that's what I said. I forgive and forget people. So in 2000 then he umpired in Edgbaston in England. So I make sure that first person to go to him in the ground and shake his hand, said, hi, how are you, and everything, how's life, and put a smile on his face and made him very comfortable. So otherwise he would have been miserable in that match. So he would have been nervous and everything. So I did that. So I am a person who, if I do something wrong, I will realize I am not ashamed of going sorry to that person.
True.
Same way, people do mistakes, and sometimes intentionally, sometimes unknowingly, that you have to not make enemies. So in my life, I make sure that more friendliness, more be with the people is important than more than the money, and everything is a byproduct. But the human touch is the most important. So memories will stick to you when you're dying. So you're not going to take all these byproducts to you.
True.
You're going to leave it. What you are taking is your memories, and you're going. So those are principles, because I lived in hostel for age of 6 to 18. We share, we things,
right.
We see other people smile. Sometimes you fight, sometimes you do, sometimes you go and say sorry. Those the lessons I've been taught when I was in hostel, a Catholic boarding school, for age of 6 to 18.
Now, what's the most, difficult part of being Muttiah Muralitharan? Anything, that you think...
So for me, it's Muttiah Muralitharan. Once I became popular and a national asset to our country, then the identity, right? It was a big, very difficult for me, because when I was in trouble, whole country without race or anything, everyone backed me and everyone supported me. They see me as a Sri Lankan.
True.
Rather than Tamil or Sinhalese or whatever race, or Hindu or Muslim or Buddhist or not. So to maintain that, a lot of pressure to me, because I am a person, believe I'm a Sri Lankan first, then I'm a Tamil, then I Indo. I don't represent one race. I represent every race. So it is everything. So sometimes the minority people think I didn't talk to them. I was not standing for them. If I stand for them, what do you think about majority people who helped you and raised you like this? What they think? So I am always seen as a cricketer and a Sri Lankan. So I did dining. So the misquotes and everything had so much of problems in my life. So that only thing if I can raise, I'll be happy in life.
Would you like to tell us about the Indian roots? Not much is known about it.
See, my grandfather in 1920s for tea plantation, forced by British to Sri Lanka. From Sri Lanka, they came. Then only our life started. So we are called Indian origin Tamils. We are all in tea plantations in Mittal. But there are thousands of years of older Tamil from Jaffna and north and east. They are also India only, because from India only the roots came from, with the kings were capturing Sri Lanka. They've been Tamils there. So there are two different type of people. So we went for tea plantations, and then my father and mother's brother started a small confectionery business in 1954. Then onward they were in Kandy. They were earlier was in Murali, Hatton, a place called a small estate, big estate. So they were so that's what we lived in Sri Lanka.
Now, let me ask you, some quick questions. Of the current lot of off spinners, who are your two favorites?
Hardly you see off spinners here. Ashwin is one. Then any other off spinners in world cricket, Nathan Lyon is there. So those two are the most important players at the moment, prominent spinners.
And of the current generation of batsmen, who do you think is the most, would have been the most difficult to bowl to?
Current generation.
Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav.
Just wondering. Yeah, I think Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in Indian team. Maybe Surya Kumar Yadav. Don't know, because it's a very tricky question, because on the day anybody can smash you. There are quality players in Indian line, also in other countries. So I would take, like, on the day, anybody can make damage to you.
So you've spent some time with Virat Kohli when you were part of the RCB. What is he like?
So he's a very, outside the cricket, he's very calm and very nice and everything. When he in the cricket, he get excited so much, passion and love of the game. That's because of that only makes a total performer, right? If you take out that, he will go dry. So you should not, that arrogancy and everything that he needed for him. So that's the way. Even you see, he was not captain. If you see a wicket goes, he's not taking, somebody else taking. Where's the celebration and everything? That is his passion and the heart.
Okay. My final two questions, sir. Won't take much time. I'm under pressure to, end this immediately, but I'll have to ask you these questions. Madhur, what are your expectations from the film?
I have huge expectations. This is my debut down south, and also, I mean, what a chance to portray a legend like Murali sir. So, and we've made a very honest attempt. It's more than a sports biopic. It's about a young kid struggling with his identity, growing up in a war-ravaged country, in a minority, and there's so many layers. It's a story that you can go watch with your family, and you'll really come back with a lot of great memories. I don't think people will be disappointed if they give the film a chance.
Sir, you're not known for speaking too much, but whenever you've spoken your mind. And there's one debate which is raging, and this has been on for some time. As you know, somebody who was part of the team which was attacked in Pakistan. Pakistani cricketers never talk about terror that emanates from Pakistan. Why don't they speak up? And if they don't speak up, should they be playing cricket in other countries? What is your take on that?
Because they were not involved in that, cricketers, like, okay, because it's the government should have taken a place on that, what happened and everything. Still, I don't know any clearance on that, but cricketers are very friendly, and we like we have a good rapport, like Wasim and everybody, so they didn't want to happen that. It's an unfortunate coincidence it happened to us. Maybe it's planned by some terror groups, and maybe don't know what went through, because we can't speculate things.
True.
So actually at the time nobody has spoken about in cricketers because I know they have some statement came, it should now happen, why did they allow it to happen? Those statements came through cricketers. But from the government side, there is no clear anything. But still, the relationship, Asia, big brother is India.
Right.
Then they are also brothers. So the connection with the politically all strong with Pakistan also. So we don't want to make it as a big deal of it, because nobody died. At least we suffered a little bit. So that's why, if it would have died, it would have gone in a different corners.
No, that's okay. But I was talking about terror in general coming from Pakistan, but I don't want to put you on a spot on that. I want to end on a positive note. I asked you a question at the beginning. What would you call the movie if not 800?
So I have another people all say smiling assassin, so I always smile whatever happens. So I've been terrorized.
Smiling assassin.
So terrorize, that's given to me, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right. So that would have been also good, but 800 is more prominent than
Anything else?
Anything else.
Okay. So, and who's winning the World Cup this year?
See, very difficult to say because there has to be a lot of luck, but the hot favorites are India because of they are playing in home conditions and a very good side, and they know. And if you go to the Indian match, there will be maybe handful of opposition and the spectators. That vibes goes to India, so better.
Is that the reason you've also made the film in India, because of the the love and the passion that people have for the game of cricket?
Not because of that, because this is totally connected to India. Because my ancestors are from India, and also my wife is from India, and whoever approached from India. So everyone, it's a coincidence.
Okay, we wish you all the best, Madhur, Murali sir. Thank you for spending some time with Times Now. Viewers, thanks for watching.